21-year-old Billings woman is in critical condition after an early morning crash on Montana Avenue. Take a look. The crash was reported around 1:30 this morning. When police arrived to the scene, a passerby was attempting CPR on the woman, who was unconscious and having a hard time breathing. Billings police blocked off the 2900 block of Montana Avenue and intersecting streets through 6:30 this morning as they conducted their investigation. Sergeant Brett Becker said it appears the woman crashed into a cement planter, lost control, then spun into a parked car, pushing the struck car into several other vehicles. Police found open containers of alcohol in her car, and they believe she might have been speeding.
The seriousness of her injuries, the advanced crash team is here doing a thorough investigation and to get us some definitive answers of what actually happened tonight.
Sergeant Becker said the woman was the only person in the vehicle and no one else was injured. Turning now to the day's top national stories, casino marquees and other lights in the Las Vegas Strip went dark for about 10 minutes overnight, exactly 1 week since the deadly shooting that claimed 58 lives and injured nearly 500. The SWAT team that first raided the gunman's room spoke last night to 60 Minutes and described the night as being like a deadly game of hide and seek. Officer Dave Newton from the Las Vegas Police Department's K-9 unit said he noticed a note on the shooter's nightstand once the officers reached the room.
I could see on it he had written the distance, the elevation he was on, the drop of what his bullet was going to be for the crowd. So he had that written down and figured out, so he would know where to shoot to hit his targets from there.
In other news, movie producer Harvey Weinstein has been fired from the company that bears his name. Last week, Weinstein had taken a voluntary leave of absence from the Weinstein Company amid sexual harassment allegations. But yesterday, the company's board announced his dismissal effective immediately, citing new information that surfaced regarding his behavior. And Vice President Mike Pence left yesterday's 49ers-Colts football game after about a dozen San Francisco players took a knee during the national anthem. The former Indiana governor flew in so he could watch Peyton Manning's jersey retirement ceremony. Pence wrote on Twitter, quote, "I left today's Colts game because POTUS and I will not dignify any event that disrespects our soldiers, our flag, or our national anthem." In state news, Montana's political leaders met in Missoula on Sunday to kick off the second Montana High-Tech Job Summit, which is bringing in tech leaders from across the country. Senator Steve Daines spoke about the benefits of bringing more tech jobs to the Big Sky State.
We talked about how do we take these learnings from these companies and apply them right here in Montana. We have a lot of Montanans sharing ideas with one another. We want to take these ideas and translate them into action. And the action is creating more good-paying technology jobs that pay twice the state average.
Representatives of both public and private companies will meet again this morning starting at 7, and there will be speeches until 6 tonight. Speakers at last night's reception included Senator Steve Daines, interim President Sheila Stearns, and President and CEO of the Montana Chamber of Commerce, Webb Brown. Representative Greg Gianforte was also in attendance and stressed the importance of this expanding opportunity in Montana.
Sector complements our existing sectors in the economy. It's growing 7 times faster than the rest of the state, though. So this is an exciting new element of our economy.
Also, while in Missoula, Senator Steve Daines met face-to-face with Guthrie McLean, the student who Daines helped release after being detained in China this past July. McLean was detained following an altercation with a cab driver. Senator Daines and his team worked to secure the release of McLean from a Chinese detention center later that month. On Sunday, Daines finally had the opportunity to speak with McLean in person.
And we were thankful that he was released. He's back here on the campus of the University of Montana, finishing up his senior year. But I can tell you, when we met, it was a great moment, and we both had smiles on our face.
Turning to Fire Watch, the totals keep climbing in our Montana Wildfire Relief Fund. Over the weekend, we received more than $1,000 to push overall donations to more than $422,000. MTM has teamed up with the Montana Community Foundation to help those impacted by the devastating 2017 wildfire season. If you would like to help, we have more information at ktvq.com. Today marks the federally recognized Columbus Day holiday. While it's not one of the major federal holidays, you can still expect some closures. All federal facilities and the post office will be closed. Some banks are closed, so you might want to check in before you head out. The state of Montana also observes the holiday, so you can expect some state offices to be closed as well. Meanwhile, a Billings boy honored veterans with green lights in his neighborhood, and now veterans thanked him. The Veterans of Foreign Wars gave him the Patriotic Youth Award and a bicycle in appreciation. In June, 9-year-old Rylan Chester brought 64 green light bulbs and rode his bike to pass them out in his neighborhood. The green light bulb symbolizes hope, renewal, and well-being. Rylan says the idea is to shine a green light for veterans to show appreciation.
This also has to do with the football players not standing for the flag. It's just really disrespectful because all the people that died for our country to have it free enough for us to do anything we want.
I'm with him 100%. I just know when I was his age, and you know, you did it. I mean, it's respect.
Our goal, if anything, for him doing all this work is that maybe our city could realize what these green lights are for, and more children can get out and support our vets, and more families can get together for this.
He's very patriotic. He's just a very proud child, and we're very proud of him because of this. It was surprising that at 9 he wanted to go out and do this and start a movement and hope that people would follow and be more respectful of our country.
And Rylan plans to help one of his cousins with the green lights in another neighborhood. In animal-related news, the community of Big Sky and the Yellowstone Club have been dealing with an intruder lately. A black bear who weighs around 250 pounds has been breaking into vehicles and houses. The Gallatin County Sheriff's Office says it recently broke into 6 vehicles. While the Sheriff's Department at Big Sky is used to this type of activity, they have never seen it like this before.
First and foremost, don't store food in the car. Obviously, bears can still break into cars afterwards. Even if there's food in the car with it locked, bears can still break the window. I would just advocate that people remove all foods, any sort of temptation from the vehicle. That way, bears have no reason to actually go into the car. This one, is, for me, has at least been the worst. I've been up here for at least 3 years, so this is by far the worst.
Fish, Wildlife and Parks was called out and the bear has been captured, but officials have yet to share an update on the bear's outcome. Meanwhile, a young deer found its way into a plastic pumpkin bucket and has been stuck for nearly a week. But on Sunday, 10 Good Samaritans were able to corral the deer and eventually moved it enough for the deer to knock the bucket off. And a big shout out to Jeff Zoo, Montana, and those who stepped up to give a helping hand.